Let's uncover the secrets behind a career with purpose.
Join us as we speak to people that turn their biggest passions into their life's work.
I love it.
And inspire you to become the superhero of your own story.
Welcome to the Purpose Revolution podcast. And today we have Aldo. Thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you as our guest. And to kick off the things, I would like to ask you how a person who is close to you would introduce you.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a great honor for me to be here. And about the answer to the question, I would say someone who is bold, who has a lot of energy, but that also likes to reflect sometimes. Yeah. I don't know if just one word, but I just did three. And thank you. Yeah.
And now you work in public sector. You are an entrepreneur. You are an author. You are a speaker, an activist. Like a lot of different things. How would you define your mission in general? And what are you trying to achieve with the work that you do?
Well, I defined myself as a changemaker, would say. Agent of change, better say. Uh, and about what I do, I do because it's what has to be done. It's not that I want to become an author or something. It flows throughout the way because I have to be this person. What I really want to do is to open more road for people with disabilities that can and have a voice and want to say something, but normally they don't have like this opportunity to say it, or they feel that they're going to be judged by someone else. It's like, no, you must have something to say and you should say it. So look at me first, and if that serves to you, then just be you, be bold and say what you have to say. Of course, always with respect, but that's the idea. Yeah.
Why would you say it's important
To say what you have to say, or what?
to drive the mission that you drive forward and say what you want to say?
I would say that because normally when you think about disability, you think about a minority, but in reality, we are not. We are about 1.3 billion people in this world. And so it's a lot of people. And if you really take to an account the caregivers and the family, there are studies that say it's about 2.3 billion people that is touching by disability in somehow. So there is not just, oh, maybe it's a topic. No, should be a topic, have to be a topic, because disability is a thing that is latent. It's like there. You have it in your life, maybe because you're older, maybe because you have an accident. So I think most of people should be aware, and that is what I'm trying to do, just to communicate, to make some information, because there are a lot of misconceptions towards disability, and me and the team, we became aware of that, and we say like, and why we don't try to communicate that? I don't know. I remembered I start with one video, and I said, let's do it. I don't care if just one person sees it, and then one, two, three people, and you just continue. It's like you guys, right? And then the team start to realize there was another people with disability that resonates with the content, and everything flows from there. So that's why I said it's important, because we kind of becoming also a place where other people with disability can be reflected on. I don't know. I would define it like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll dig into the work in a little bit. I just want to reflect on the topic a little bit at a like higher level, because what I find particularly interesting about this topic is it very much is a reflection on human behavior, humankind, the treatment of others, right, and empathy. The idea is that, you know, actually a significant, as you just said, a significant amount of people have disabilities, and also a significant amount of people have disabilities that you cannot necessarily see, that are not visual, right? That you can't see when you're just walking down the street. So building a world, right, that is more inclusive, that is more accessible, it's kind of a test on how much can human beings not only work together, right, coming from different contexts, saying people who have disabilities and people who don't, but at the same time, how empathetic can we be with regards to other people that have a different lived experience, that have different day to day, and that have to deal with different obstacles than I, right, might have if I don't have a disability. In that context, I'd be really curious for you to maybe set the scene a little bit, right? Because there's a lot of misconceptions about this. So just to clarify, what is considered a disability first? And second of all, what would you then consider autonomy for somebody who has a disability?
Okay, well, disability is a condition. There is various definitions, but right now the definitions that I like, disability, it's not about the person, it's about the environment. And we talk about environment that makes a people with some kind of condition a person with disability, but it's because it's not accessible. It's not about the condition, because we all have diversity within us, right? And so the real question would be how much does this environment where I am in really empowers me to do the things that I have to do, just like everyone else, condition or not. So right now, that is the definition will I go by. It's not about the person, the condition. It's about how accessible it is, the environment. Yeah. About that. And about autonomy, autonomy is the possibility to choose. Yeah. So the difference between independence and autonomy, it's really clear. Independence, it's for you to be able to do a thing by yourself, right? To walk, to grab a glass of water if you have some kind of limitation there. But I think the real difference and the most important one is the ability to choose. You can, of course, need some kind of assistance, right? Because if you have a condition. But I think the difference lies in you are aware that you need an assistant, but you can choose to accept that assist or not, right? And the person that is your caregiver, if you need a caregiver, of course, your mother, your everyone, yeah, should have to respect that choose, right, that election, because that is what autonomy is. Of course, you are aware of what you need, but they are also giving you the power, like everyone else, to choose what you need, knowing, of course, the environment you have. I don't know if I am clear.
You're very good. No, of course. And I think what also is becoming very clear in the way that you explain is that these two concepts in some ways can be, and very much are in our day to day, at odds, right? So the built-in lived environment of many people is completely at odds with their ability to be autonomous, right? Or their autonomy. And as a result, there is some level of, pretty grave in many cases, human suffering, right, that is created. And this is really what your work stands against, right? Is trying to create some level of awareness and spreading that, but also creating those solutions through also the things that you do in the government.
Yeah, something very important that I like to add is when I said environment that impossibilitates in some way, like the development of autonomy, I was referring not just to the architectural type, right, but also the dynamic, for example, you have with your friends, the dynamic you have with your family. All that are environments that hinders or empower that kind of independence and autonomy. And that really can become the difference between you having the future you deserve or you can build on, or just someone that has all the potential but doesn't have the tools or the correct environment to settle to be what should be, right?
This is super interesting. And I feel like in your case, by knowing you also already for a year, as SCM Mexico finalist, you really made disability your superpower, and you also use it to inspire others and to show by example that anything is possible if you want to. And I'm wondering also, like, you recently wrote a book, and your book is also speaks a lot about this topic about autonomy, and it's called tell me if I say it correctly. At the end, disability is 10 steps to foster autonomy in a person with or without disability. I would like to ask you, first question is like, for who did you write this book? Like, who should read it?
It will sound very, very, I don't know. I would say it for everyone, actually. But when I wrote it thinking about everyone else who doesn't have a disability, but it is touched by a disability in some way. For example, I have a lot of friends with disability that also are activists, and they do conferences, and yeah, it is kind of my reality, because you can build your reality based on the type of people you're in. But sometimes I reflect on, we never ask about how their families feel about having to educate someone with disability, for example, how they feel, how much they are affected on by this type of dynamic. And so I said it would be nice to actually like offer them opportunity to write down exactly, for them to put their experiences in a different role, whether it be a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a couple, right? Friends. And so that's why I wrote the book. But actually, saying that I wrote the book, I will say it's a very egotistical thing, because the only thing that I do, I think, is just offer them the opportunity to write down their experiences. And the book is not mine, the book is theirs. But I will say, the thing that put all together is I combined it with the story, but of course the main point is it's one of their experiences, and it's really funny. uh, and I am very proud of the book, because it has not only persons from Mexico. Of course, I know I am Mexican, right? But also persons from Spain that I've known in a podcast that I did online, persons from from Serbia that I know here last year, persons from India that I know here last year, from Prague, and so the book, it's like full with these different perspectives on the same topic. And that what really interests me, because I ask myself, would it be the same? How much really change the context, the country you are, or I don't know. And it is really great for me to realize that even though we are like poetically saying like miles apart, like 1,000 miles apart, the topic, it's really, it brings you together. It doesn't, yeah. And so I wrote it for everyone, because I think, again, everyone could be confronted with disability somehow, or with for a person that is, for a mother that is just a mother and there's a child with disability. I also offered like a list of these associations that are in Mexico for different type of disability, because I remember that my mom said, when I had you, I didn't have any idea what to do, what's the next step. And I said, let me just make easier this thing, right?
Yeah. Just to facilitate that process. I'd be really curious, because obviously a lot of also what you're trying to solve is like misunderstandings, right? Or it's a lack of information, a lack of understanding. Um, what are some of the kind of bigger misconceptions or maybe also missteps that you see from people when it comes to um, either both working or raising, being a sibling to, being a friend to somebody with disability, that our viewers might also relate to, or might also have someone from the family?
Yeah, I would say that the biggest misconception is that we are persons that we always need help, need support. I know that that comes from a really good place sometimes, but I think, and I have to deal myself with the fact that, for example, I have a really good family, but they sometimes ended up to be overprotective, and that overprotection can really like hinders everyone, and then yeah, exactly. Like we're just talking about. And so the biggest misconception is thinking just because you have a disability, then you will not have a life. Then everything will be complicated. And it is. But then again, it's about, well, we are going to meet you halfway, right? We're going to make like our effort, but then uh, you as a society have to put on like the other side to meet us there. Not because we don't want to make like the whole career, but because we need you to meet us in a halfway, so to speak. Yeah. So yeah, the just that the lack of information about what is a disability, what you can really achieve with disability, and how can you do it, and how important is your role as a family, and that is a concept that it comes in the book. That is your support network. The support network is absolutely everything. If there is something that is important, it's to build your support network and build it like with the best that you can. That knowing that your family is supporting you, knowing that your friends are always challenge you. You know, I also mentioned like every role, like a mother, a father, a friend, a couple, has these little missions in the book. And so I said, if you're a father, then your role must be this, and if you're a friend, then your role must be to challenge, not to accompany. No, challenge the people with disability. If you are a couple, then I said you can also challenge, but you can also accompany your partner if the partner have disability, because it is what works for me, of course. But I always said that if works for me doesn't mean that works for you, but maybe it can help you along the way. Yeah.
And how does it like I'm just curious, what does it mean to challenge? Like how does it look practically? Let's say how not to fall into this helper role.
Okay. Uh, I mean, you can help by setting the environment, for example. Yeah. But then let us to do what we have to do, right? So for example, let's put on an example. I need to cross the street, right? And you know that I can, that I will have like some difficulties, but I can. I know that I can. I could choose. No, help me, please. I could choose the easy way, right? For so to speak. But then, if you really wants me to develop more, you could say no. You could do it. I would say no, no, no. But I feel no. You could do it. And I would say, for example, there is no car. Like the lights are not going to turn out in the next minute, so we have time. Yeah. And your role as a friend or as a partner will say, this is a challenge. I am here with you, accompany you, but it is your challenge. And I will be accompanying you, and I will be waiting for you when you complete that. And that really built trust, built everything. Right. And so it is not to just say everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, like, I don't want to do it. Okay, that's not, no, challenge me. No, you have to, because I know that will serve you like in the future. That is why what I was thinking about. Yeah.
And how was your experience actually growing up with disability and like with your family? Like you mentioned that for them it was also probably challenging at the beginning. And yeah, what was the experience,
Yeah.
yours and theirs?
Yeah, it is really interesting, because I have these two different worlds in my school and at my house, which is your house, of course. Uh, in the school, they want to facilitate everything to me. The teachers, oh no, Aldo, don't worry, I will bring you this. Oh, don't, we will change the classroom because it's upstairs and you cannot go up, right? And it is really tempting, as a person, for things to change because of you can get really used to it, but
Was
that's,
it when you were a child?
yeah.
When you were like a
Yeah,
child
when I
studying in
were like
school?
6, 7, 8, yeah. um but then I came back to my house, and it was completely different. uh, no, you can go. No, I need to do this. Go upstairs. But I can't. No, you can. But I'm going to take out too long. Take what you need. I don't care if it's 10 minutes, 50, 20, but you will get there by yourself. And I will say to my mom and to my dad, but in the like in the school they give everything to me, yeah, but here we are not in the school. Here we are in your house, and not my father, not my mom, not my sisters, not. Now you can do it by yourself. You need something, you can crawl, but you're gonna get it by yourself. And so it was different, completely different. From one side, I have everything here, and from the other side, I have to get everything. And of course, like my house environment was stronger. Yeah, and I get accustomed to that. Yeah.
Family had to learn that, right?
Yes and no. They are really. And there are a mix between the sweetest people you can meet, but also the toughest people you can meet. And so, for example, my mom told me like it was heartbroken for me to hear you crying in your rehabilitation sessions or to say no to you, even though I want to say yes to you. But I was thinking in the you of the future, in the future you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what will happen when I am not here? And so,
Yeah.
someone that is raising a son with a disability has to, I don't know, make themselves this question: What would happen? What would my person? What would my son, my daughter with a disability will need to learn when I am not here?
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen. I don't know. It's really dense topic to for the podcast, but yes, so
Yeah, yeah. And like I think it again comes back to the autonomy topic and how important it is
yeah.
to really be independent, to
Yeah.
learn being independent.
Actually, oof, I was about to say something and I really felt.
Take your time.
I promise you, this is not stage. I really, it's not a-
If it's stage, you're good.
yeah,
Good to have feelings, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yes. So, if not, I wasn't going to be here right now with you. So it's everything. Yeah, completely.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah,
That's
for
very
real. Thanks for
powerful.
sharing.
We're
Yeah.
very grateful that you're here with us today.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I think what's most powerful about your story is that you didn't let those experiences restrict you, but on the other hand, empower you, and you've made it not only life's mission,
Yeah.
but also your career.
Yes.
Can you talk us through that a little bit? Because,
Yeah.
you're growing up in Mexico. Where did you grow up in Mexico?
In Monterrey.
You grew up in Monterrey, right? Which
Big
is also
city.
which is, yeah, big
6
city.
million people.
Yeah, which is very big. Um, you're the first person in your family to, I assume, right? You're the first person in your family amongst your siblings to have a disability.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you grow and become, Aldo, who is an adult, and
Yeah.
then you start looking for your path, right? For
Mhm.
like a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
How do you land on this work? How do you land on becoming an entrepreneur?
Really interesting question, and I reflect that like a while ago. Really, when I was in one of the presentations of my book, I reflect on that same idea that I will come. Is that some people think that because you have a disability, then you know everything about disability, but that's not true. I have much to learn. This journey, this has taught me a lot, even though I have a disability, because there is a completely different world, right? And so, for me, first, and for the I don't know, maybe first 25 years of my life, have been just to focus on me. What like building me, like challenge me, like me. I didn't care about the different topics of disability uh, until later, right? Uh, but because I don't know, I reach out to a point where I can say I am autonomous, right? Into a certain point, I said to, I begin to wonder myself. Okay, I feel like I can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, I have some big ideas. right? Then I ended up in a spot that I can really help people within the government also. And then being in that spot make me realize that I have to be more empathic, right? Because I start to know and to heard about other people's stories that are not given the same opportunities, not the same settings, but I would say, but they also deserved. Why wouldn't it have been? Why this is not happening? And so that makes me more empathic. And then from there, and from the previous journey, I completely shift my idea of just being me to okay, I am in this point right now. I have a platform. I know how to use it. Then I'm gonna use it. And yes, it becomes like that, and it really helps for us, like for everyone, to help others right now. And in helping others, you're helping you, and you're really impacting positively. That was like a super recent part of the journey. Yeah.
Do you think that looking inwards for a very long time, that was a necessary part of the experience?
Yes. Yeah. Because if not, I think I would have been happy lost in a certain point. I need to build certain inner strength. I'm not saying like I am super strength, but certain inner strength
Right.
to to know myself capable of doing things for myself. And then once I knew I was capable of doing things for myself, okay, maybe it's time for do it for others.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so that what it becomes.
Right.
And yeah, it's been great. We've been helpful a lot of people about, and I can say this proudly. I know we have touched about more than 2,000 people with disabilities, like directly and indirectly. We have worked with companies that wants to help people and hire people with disabilities. The employment for people with disabilities is a really interesting and important topic. Yeah, it's been great. If you really ask me, Aldo, would you imagine yourself like 5 years ago to be like that? No, man, I was spiraling down 5 years ago. Like, but it's incredible actually.
And you were spiraling back up. Were there certain encounters, certain people, certain realizations that picked you up, that kind of led you on this specific path?
Mm, yeah, I actually, when I said, for example, I am a person who reflects a lot. I ended up being after in a really reflective time about what I am, what's my life, what I want it to be, where I want to go, like what settings do I have, what do I need to learn, yeah, who do I need to be. And my family helped me a lot. My best friend Carlos, helped me a lot. It's my best friend. He always challenged me. We have known each other for 25 years since we were like almost babies, right? And that is what I said. Like the support network is everything. If 5 years ago, when I was like down, my support network wasn't there, I wasn't gonna be here, of course, and helped me a lot to just calm down and think positively. But not only that, do something.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not just about thinking.
It's not
about
magical
doing.
thinking. It's about you have the possibility to do something, you should do it. Right? Because you have. And then worry about even things out for the people that doesn't have it, but they should have it because everyone has potential. Yeah, I always said, yeah, when I have the possibility to do a conference, I always said there's two Aldos, right? The Aldo that was born with all these positive things, their fathers have enough money for all their rehabilitations and costs of disability that are too high. Has support networks it can build, and there are other Aldo that doesn't have any of those, but they both have the potential to end up in the same place, right? Why wouldn't or why shouldn't the second Aldo ended up in the same place that the first one? And it is not because he doesn't have that inner strength or that capacity. It is because of their environment. So we should focus on changing a little by little the environment. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
So continuing on the topic of entrepreneurship, was CM Mexico your first encounter with entrepreneurship topic, or did it happen before?
Formally speaking, yes, but before that, I already have like given some tries. I also have this other entrepreneur thing. I have I don't know how to say it in English. This little small it's carrito in Spanish, and we sell corn, we sell like chips, like prepared chips. Yeah, and what it makes it different is that I have like the menus in braille, and I have the menus. It's on video because I have a member of the team. It's a person with with an impaired hearing part, and I convinced him to record the video on Mexican sign language.
Wow.
So yeah, people come and ask for them, but also we could bring like the people like that community to come and feel more respected and accepted in a sort of way. Yeah, but that comes after. That's after yeah.
After what?
That comes as a extension of discapacitados. For example.
So first it was discapacitados, and then this new.
Yeah, but before that, I was kind of I don't know, giving conferences or people that ask me or whatever. Yeah, but formally, yes, it was my first encounter with entrepreneurship. Yeah, I've learned a lot of topics because of you guys. I expanded my imagination and my opportunities. Oof, you have no
Through the
idea.
roof.
Yeah,
Through the roof.
through the roof because of you.
What were you doing before you started building your venture?
What was I doing before? I was trying to figure out, for example, well, I ended up my career, and then I was trying to get a job just like a normal guy, and it was really hard. Companies wouldn't hire me, even though I had a bachelor's degree. I can speak English, Even though all that, even though I prepare myself, my family helped me prepare myself. I hadn't the chances, and so of course that's why what I said I was spiraling down. But then I went to leave the United States. I cannot work there because I am not a U.S. citizen, but I said to myself, Aldo, you need to make money because you need to be autonomous and independent. What do you know that can give you money? Like you don't need to do right now because of a job permit. I said, well, I speak Spanish, I speak English. There is a lot of people who wants to speak Spanish, and so I ended up just like searching platforms for teaching Spanish, and I found one. I registered, and then I do my profile, and I said send hit, like they accept me to be a teacher, online teacher, and
Was it like online school, basically?
yeah, it wasn't like an online school, but it's not a school. It's just a platform where you can be a freelance teacher, and then it happened that a student, hired my package, and then actually get paid. And when I got paid, my entire chip like changed. It's like, okay, I don't need them to hire me because I am capable enough to do my own money, right? That was like, okay. And my complete chip, my chip changed, and everything changed. I was comfortable enough making money in dollars while living in Mexico, and so it was mind blowing. And then after that, the company that have rejected me before reached me out because there was another opportunity, and they saw my profile, and they wanted to start this program for hiring people with disabilities, and they have selected me as the first. And I said, yeah, why not? And so uh, it was really interesting because a couple months ago I had nothing, but then a couple months after I have two jobs.
The universe
And-
heard you, basically.
After every down, there's an up.
Yeah, it's exactly. And then it's like, okay, it's not a bad place to be. With two jobs, of course. One you can do it in your house, and the other one you can do it by your
Right.
by your computer. and then everything changes, and then from there, uh, I said I will do, I will do this, and I became more interested into helping people, not just myself, and yeah, the rest happened.
The rest is
Yeah.
And talking about inclusivity in business,
Yes.
I love this topic. What does it mean to you, inclusivity in business? Especially, let's say, like
Yeah.
there is a young person who wants to
Yeah.
start their project.
Yeah.
And how should they approach the topic of inclusivity? At what stage? Yeah, like what
So
should be the general approach? No worries.
sorry. Sorry. Uh, yeah. Well, I like this topic too because normally, and I said it earlier, people think about inclusion and inclusivity as a favor, but it's not. As more often than not, when I am talking to companies, for example, and that I wanted to convince them to hire people with disability, they say, "Oh yeah, but we already have these social responsibility programs." Yeah, but I am not talking about that. I am talking about. Do you know that, for example, you as a company can strategically and economically do this thing if you hire people with disability? No, I didn't know. Ah, there is a law that helps you if you hire people with disability. So it is a person with disability receives the opportunity that they deserve. Of course, if they are prepared enough, that is important. Uh, but you also can benefit, and that is not bad, from having people with disability within your work staff. And so when you say it like that, they change their way of thinking, and they say, oh, so it's not about helping people. It's yes. And I said, it's not just about helping people, it's helping people, but at the same time, if you are just thinking about numbers, it really adds up to you to have people with disabilities, right? And so the same thing happens, for example, with business. There is an untapped market, and I will talk about this tomorrow in my session that I am very very excited about. There is an untapped market of 8 to 12 trillion dollars, I think, for the future, or billion, but it's a lot of money that a lot of companies are not uh, grabbing because they tend to think that disability or caregivers or everything about it just have no market potential. But they are wrong. And this is not something that I am just saying. This is something that is like in the economic form of disability. And so I invite the people to think, when you are thinking about your customer, right? Have have you pictured your customer having a disability? Did your service, do your product, whatever you need or whatever you choose to do, have you think it really for everyone? What happened if that person cannot grab something with them? What happened if does your product it's designed for everyone, or do you need a second life of product designed for the people that doesn't have disability and the people who does? Because it would it have it we are a diversity, so every people can have disability. And so more often than not they said, no, I haven't think of it. No, because we normally just by if we don't think about that. But then when someone with disability comes, like, oh yeah, I didn't think about it. Yeah, but if you have from the beginning, for example, yeah. And so it is really 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 interesting to know that, for example, in Europe, and I just searched this up to before the podcast, but it's fair.
Yeah, of course.
In Europe, it says that in the next 10 to 15 years, Europe will be one of the oldest continents in the whole world, because you have like this thing with aging population. And so aging population also comes into the market. And so I always said, don't think about person like me who are young and have people with disability. Think about the older person, the elderly, right? Think about me, but also think about the elderly. Think about me, but also think about a mother. Yeah. And so, yeah, normally I don't think about, no, yes. And I am not thinking, and I am not saying about just, for example, a cane or, no, no, no. I'm just thinking, how can you apply it to whatever you're, and then, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. And so it's really interesting.
So one thing, this makes me think also of another SIA venture that works on the same topic, but a very different form of it, from Turkey. So completely different country, different continent as well, right, than Mexico. And what they're building is some kind of software integration in the applications, websites, whatever that we typically use on a day-to-day basis that are just not accessible at all for people with visual impairments. And they have been partnering with some of the biggest companies in the entire world, right? The biggest tech companies like Amazon, Google, right? And they've been making those services more accessible to those people. And this is just like a win-win. It's like an obvious thing, right? So there's just so many different levels to it. So it's so universal, so geographically expansive, right? It's like, it's almost like shocking that it's just not still a thing that like every single person thinks about.
And actually, inclusion drives innovation.
100%.
Yeah. And so, for example, I always said, for example, subtitles, 80% of the population use subtitles right now, but subtitles were invented because there are people,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
automatic doors
yeah.
were invented for people that cannot. It's like these ramps were invented for people for wheelchair users, but now you can use it with a stroller because you have to. It's like sometimes we forget that inclusion drives innovation, and then we ended up just uh, using it everybody, and that's real thing. It's not about I'm going to do it because they no, I'm going to do it because it's for everyone to use. Right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't make a difference. That's the real thing. Yeah.
So for young people, I'm not sure how much time we have left. For young people who start building a venture, they have an idea. How should they approach the topic of inclusivity?
Who have an idea? I would
They're
say
small, like you started, you were small, right? Maybe you don't
Not
have
the
so much
person, the venture,
the
the
venture.
idea.
Thanks. The idea, the business is very small, right? They don't have so much capacity and they think, oh no, we cannot help somebody, like how should they approach it? How should they look at this, at including inclusivity into the core of their business?
uh, I should think they should strive first to decide who are they going to help. And for example, if they decided it's going to be an inclusivity type of thing, go first. Like choose your type of disability. Don't try to go too big because, of course, there's a lot of things that you have to change regarding each type of disability. First of all, if you can choose a disability, like the easiest one among the type of disabilities you have, and then just evolve a person, like involve in the process a person, do something like resolve a problem for her or for him specifically, and then maybe think if that resolves a person for him or for him, then ask for feedback, reflect on the feedback, and say if that works for him or for her, then works for a lot of people who also have the same type of problem. And I always and I already have this feedback from him for him, and then you can think, oh, what are you going to do as if you wanted to make it larger. But I would say that first choose, and then choose what type of disability are you going to help. Don't go for everyone because you're not
There
going
are
to
so
pretend.
many, right?
Yes, there are like five categories, and from them there are subdivisions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then just involve one, do it for one, ask for feedback, reflect on the feedback, and then you can go from there. That would be my this.
Since we are going almost approaching the end of
Yeah.
our episode, I would like to ask the last question.
Okay.
A friend of yours shared an interesting detail that you
Oh,
that you used to be a goalkeeper. Is this true?
a goalkeeper.
A
Not gold.
goalkeeper, not gold. It would be not bad. I mean,
I don't remember being a goalkeeper, but it was good.
Just all your gold in the back of
no.
your
Yeah, we're talking
backpack.
football.
Football. In the school, I used to be, yeah.
How?
Well, there's no limits, of course. No, before I didn't use the cane. I was just like a walker, and actually it was kind of cheating because it was like this, like the yeah,
The posts.
the post, and I was there. And of course, I can cover more ground because I have like the walker, and I was like pam pam pam. But I also fly like, and I would just boom, bam.
I love it.
And yeah, and that's it. Because
So crazy.
I wanted to be a part of it. They say no, and I said, think about it. I will cover more ground because I have a walker. It is good for you to have me in your team. And they reflected and they said, yeah, that's true. That's what. And coming back to this, it's like, yes, o sea, think it is a positive thing that have me on your team. And they start accepting me, and then everything changed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a superpower.
Superpower.
Thank you very much. I don't see it as a superpower. I just see it as a being. But thank you.
Super cool.
Thank you so much, Aldo. That's
Thank
all
you
we
so
have
much.
time
It
for.
was such an amazing conversation. So much to reflect on and to learn from you. It was great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
No, thanks for the space, and really, really good to talk to you. And I hope this helped.
I
Yeah.
hope one person at least will get helped by
Exactly.
this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.